and welcome to my channel. My name is Diana Romanowska and I am a certified family law specialist practicing family law in the Bay Area, California. Today I have a special guest, Marina. She's a real estate agent in San Francisco, and for a change, she's gonna ask me questions.
I'm really excited. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first question I have is when a couple is entering a marriage or a domestic partnership, when they're thinking of buying property together, whether you're a spouse or in a relationship, how does each person protect themselves when buying property?
All right, so we have a situation. Let's pretend they are about to get married next month, and they're looking for a property and they don't know when it's going to be, right? In that case, they both need to sit down and have a very straightforward conversation about money, relationship with money, and who is going to pay for what in the future. For example, when entering a partnership relationship, some partner might have more money, but another partner might want to stay with children or focus on something else. And it's an asset as well. Do they want to be on the title together? Do they want to keep one spouse on the title? Another spouse would need to protect him or herself by building also a sort of wealth. And in that case, when they're building wealth, the conversation is going to be, do we need a prenuptial agreement? Do we need to be both on the title? Who is going to contribute to the mortgage payments? Who is going to pay down payment? Who is going to pay for improvements? This conversation needs to happen before making a decision about getting married or buying a property, which is I would think it's two biggest decisions in some person's life. So before entering, conversation needs to happen. That would be my suggestion.
Great. What are your thoughts on prenup versus no prenup?
This is a question about knowing what California law is and what the other person, what party is trying to protect. If they want to keep everything separate, and I notice there is a trend. The trend right now is everyone keeps their own asset, and they're entering, especially millennials, entering a marriage. Ideally, they don't even want to get married, but for whatever reason, they love each other, they want to get married, not whatever reason, but they're entering a marriage, and they 90% of the time they want to have a prenup to keep everything separate. In prenuptial agreement is right now is the rule. The exception would be going to people who are more traditional and who are building family, children, and more classical role of one party stays home, another works. Then California law has a really good protection to say that everything that is acquired and built during the marriage, meaning date of separation and date of marriage and date of separation, between that time is 50-50. And then there is spousal support, child support. Child support is regardless of the marriage, it's going to stay. But it depends on the person, the type of assets they have. If they have trust, sometimes it's a requirement to have a protection so that there is no commingling, or if they have prior assets that need to be protected. That's where I would suggest to have a prenuptial agreement to clarify. Sometimes prenuptial agreement doesn't have to say everything is separate. It could be that assets, although it's community property law, assets prior to marriage are separate, but there is a protection that even if it gets accidentally commingled and put into some account, that it can be separated. And there are lots of varieties how to do a prenuptial agreement without cutting someone completely to the ground and to give nothing, so to say.
Mm-hmm. Great. So now I want to segue into when you're exiting a marriage. When you're exiting a marriage, how do the parties decide if they need to sell an asset?
Yes. So when a client contacts me and says we have these houses, accounts, retirements, what we do is I build a spreadsheet, and list everything that they have. And then there's a total. Let's say they have everything that totals $10 million. And what would it look like if she keeps 5 and he keeps 5? And some couples have lots of real estates, but no cash. So then they could either split the real estate in kind, but if they do want some cash, they sell one and then take out cash from that sale. Another situation could be they have only 2 assets, the house and let's say stock options. And she wants to keep the house. And the house worth is $1 million and the stock options or other liquid assets are $1 million. So what they could say, she keeps the house, he keeps the cash. That means she, in a way, bought him out of the house by waiving the cash. So that's another way that people can, and if they cannot afford it, of course, they sell it.
Mm-hmm. What percentage of people would you say decide to sell some asset?
It is tough to establish a percentage. Right now, most of my clients are keeping the properties they have. I would say 1 out of 10 would sell or even less. So most clients are keeping the real estate, and also depends where it's located and if they want to relocate. So there is a lot of variable factors that go into whether to sell or not just splitting the assets. It depends on whether they want to leave the country, whether they want to retire someone else. It's so many factors. But the tendency is to keep the real estate.
Okay, thank you so much for answering all my questions.
Yes, you're welcome. I hope, guys, that was helpful. If you like the video, please click like, subscribe, and if you have any comments, please ask them down in the section below. Bye!
Do any more videos?